Today, we're diving into a case that is just deeply troubling. It's the ongoing mystery of the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. You know, it's one of those stories that leaves a family in complete anguish and has investigators chasing a trail of really, really baffling clues. So let's set the scene. We're in Tucson, Arizona, specifically the Catalina foothills area. The date is February 1st, 2026. And this is the day when a seemingly simple missing person report spirals into this huge national investigation. This is really the question that hangs over everything, isn't it? How does an 84-year-old woman, a beloved mother and grandmother, just vanish without a single trace? We're talking about Nancy Guthrie, who was a cherished part of her community. She disappeared from the one place she should have been safest, her own home. And that disappearance sparked a massive search that, incredibly, is still going on today. All right, let's get into it. An unthinkable disappearance. We're going to start with her last known moments. To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to go back to the very last few hours, when everything, and I mean everything, seemed totally normal. So, picture this. It's the night of January 31st. Nancy gets dropped off at home by her family. They just had dinner together. It was a completely normal, everyday kind of evening. Absolutely nothing seemed out of the ordinary. There was just no reason for anyone to think this is the last time we'll see her. None at all. And then the next morning comes. And this is when the first red flag goes up. Nancy was a regular at her church service. I mean, a real fixture. So when she didn't show up, her loved ones knew something was wrong. Instantly. That's what prompted them to go check on her, and pretty soon after, they were calling the authorities. Okay, so now we get to the crime scene itself, and what investigators found, well, this is where things get really disturbing. Her family found the house empty, and when investigators got there, what they uncovered turned this from a simple missing person case into a full-blown criminal investigation, like, right away. Right off the bat, the scene just screamed foul play. First, they found blood on the porch, and yeah, DNA later confirmed it was Nancy's. Then, you've got the security. Her doorbell camera, any other surveillance, gone. Either disabled or just straight up missing. That's a deliberate move, right? Someone was trying to erase their tracks. But maybe the most chilling detail? Her pacemaker. It had a monitoring system that sent data to her doctors, and it just stopped transmitting in the early morning hours. Just cut off. All right, so if you thought this case couldn't get any more complicated, buckle up. We're now entering a whole web of ransom notes. Just as investigators are trying to piece together the crime scene, things take this incredibly bizarre and confusing turn.
So what happened was just chaos for everyone involved. On one hand, you have all these public reports flying around. We're hearing about ransom notes demanding millions of dollars in cryptocurrency, that untraceable digital money. One note was even sent directly to a news station. But then you look at the official side of things, and law enforcement is being super tight-lipped. They haven't publicly confirmed if any of these notes are real. And to make it all worse, somebody was actually arrested for sending a fake ransom message. Can you imagine just adding this layer of cruel opportunism to an already horrific situation?
So, with all this going on, how did law enforcement respond? Well, let's just say this thing escalated, and fast. It became a major federal investigation. Okay, so here's the breakdown of the official investigation. The local Pima County Sheriff's Department is in the lead, but they've got the full support of the FBI. And when the FBI gets involved, that tells you just how serious this is. But here's the really frustrating part. Despite this huge coordinated effort, Sheriff Chris Nanos has been clear. They haven't officially identified any suspects or even persons of interest. That means they're literally starting from square one, chasing down every single lead they can find. And to try and drum up some of those credible leads, the FBI has put up some serious cash. We're talking $50,000. That's a $50,000 reward for any information that helps bring Nancy home or that leads them to the people responsible. Beyond all the police work and the investigation. At the very heart of this is a family's absolute devastation. We have to talk about their heartbreak because their public pleas for their mom's return have been just incredibly powerful. Nancy's daughter is Savannah Guthrie, who many of you probably know from the Today Show. She's made these really direct, emotional appeals to the public. In video messages, she's pleaded with whoever might have her mother, basically saying, "Prove she is alive, we will pay." They just want proof of life. They're willing to do anything.
And her son, Cameron, has said the exact same thing. He's urged them, make contact so we can move forward and ensure her safety. It's this unified, powerful message from a family that's just going through something none of us can even imagine.
So, where does that leave us? After all this time, all the pleas, all the police work, what's the bottom line? Let's break down exactly where this case stands today, because there are so many unanswered questions. Okay, so here are the 3 big takeaways, the hard truths of where we are right now. Number 1, and most importantly, Nancy Guthrie is still missing. Number 2, even with all that clear evidence of foul play, police have not officially named a single suspect. And number 3, that massive investigation with the FBI, it is still very, very active. And all of this really comes down to one core belief that both the family and the investigators share. It's the idea that somebody knows something. It's this haunting thought that one person, with one single piece of information, could be the key that breaks this entire case wide open. And until that happens, the relentless search and the hope has to continue. And look, that's why we always end these kinds of explainers with this plea. If you know anything about this case, no matter how small or insignificant you think it might be, please contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI. You really never know. You could be the one holding the key to finally bringing Nancy home.